What's going on, guys? Back with another Washington Wizards video. So, I know last night the game against the Rockets, that was pretty bad. Once again, in 1 week, the Wizards lose to another buzzer beater. One, it was DeMar DeRozan. The next is Kevin Porter Jr. The Rockets' loss was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Bradley Beal got fouled out, etc. But, there's a couple things I want to talk about in this video. Another Wizards... what's going on with the Wizards video, pretty much. Firstly, the first thing I want to talk about is Kuzma. Can Kuzma be that second option? Is he that second option that the Wizards have been searching for this season? The thought was coming into the season that it was going to be Spencer Dinwiddie, and at a point in the season, it looked like Spencer Dinwiddie. It really did. He was hooping. He was making clutch shots in the fourth quarter, late games and overtime, etc. And then slowly, Spencer started to fall off, inconsistencies, etc. And it's just weird because it looked like, hey, Spencer plays better without Brad, vice versa. And then something happened. Spencer Dinwiddie went on the COVID protocol list, and he'll be coming back soon. I think he may play in the next game. But Kuzma has taken over as the second option, especially with Spencer being gone and a lot of guys being on the list. I don't know if it's due to just more roles being, specified since there's less players playing, and that helps. But Kuzma, looking at his numbers, last 5 games, 27 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, shooting 53%. He has been, and I think a big factor to it is he's playing more downhill. He's a big guy, 6'10". He's playing more downhill. Now, I know against the Rockets, and I will say this, and he's brought it up as well, he shot 8 threes. He went 0 for 8. He said he can't go 0 for 8 from the three-point line. We all know that as well. But I really like when he gets downhill, gets to the free throw line. He shot 8 free throws against the Rockets. I think he could have had more. I don't think he needed to shoot 8 3-pointers unless he was hot, like in the game against, I believe, let me check really quick. Like the game against the Hornets. Yeah, the Hornets. He shot 6 for 11 from 3. Unless you're hot like that, I would rather see him get into the basket a little more consistently, because ever since he's been going downhill, and I think it really started against the game against the Cavaliers, and when they beat the Cavaliers, he was getting downhill. He was getting to the basket. And he's been doing it ever since. And when he does, it's hard for the opposition to stop him. Like I said, he's a big guy. He's 6'10". He's a really big guy. I think Kuzma, man, is a different player when he's getting downhill. He's attacking the basket. He's getting to the free throw line. He's a different guy. And, of course, if he's hot from 3, shoot, bombs away. Like I said, against the Hornets, 6 for 11. Bombs away, man. I think Kuzma, if he continues to play downhill, continues especially to get to the free throw line, which he will, if he continues to attack, he'll get to the free throw line. I keep saying it. He's a big guy. Guys will foul him, especially when he has his mismatches, etc. Getting downhill, Kuz is a different player. I'm telling you he is. But I would really like to see games at times where he has more free throw attempts than he has three-point attempts, especially when you're going against a team like that doesn't have as good interior defense, like the Hornets, for example, even though he was hot from 3 in that game. But the Hornets, for example, or the Pelicans, or the Rockets, who defensive efficiency in their paint presence isn't that great. It's not like they got Rudy Gobert down there, or Clint Capella, etc. So, I think Kuzma can, man. He's pushing for that Most Improved Player award right now with this recent streak of play. He's been hooping out of his mind. So, I think he can be that second option depending on the play style that he chooses to play. If he keeps playing that downhill style and getting to the basket, I think he can easily be that second option for the Wizards, right with Bradley Beal, So, I'm excited to see how he continues to play for sure. Keep going downhill, Kuz, man. I don't think a lot of guys can stop you when you're going downhill for sure. So, keep that play up. Secondly, guys, I want to hit my issue with the Wizards. An issue I have with the Wizards, and I put this on Twitter after the Rockets game. I tweeted it out at Detox Alive if you want to follow me. This is the Wizards' opponent's field goal percentage in the last 7 games. I'm going to read it off to you guys. The Knicks, they won that game. Knicks shot 45% from the field. 76ers, they lost. 76ers shot 50% from the field. Heat, they lost. Shot 45% from the field. Cavs, they won that game. Shot 42%. Bulls, 49%. They lost. Hornets, 48%. But they won. Rockets, 47%. And they lost. You see the trend there? A lot of 45% and up from the field. That's not good. That's really not good. If you want to be a consistent team and consistently get wins, etc., like they were doing in the beginning of the season, when they were a top 10 defensive unit, teams were shooting low 40s, shoot 35% from the field, etc. It's hard to win basketball games consistently if teams are shooting 45% and up against you. You know, they're getting all these mid-ranges, they're getting to the basket with ease, there's no resistance. It's tough to win games consistently, and then you start looking at being around that 500 range where they are, just floating around that 500 range, you know, being an average team. It seems it's been a flip. Earlier in the season, their offense stunk, defense was really good. Now their offense, they're scoring high, they're in high-scoring games, but they're playing no defense again, like in the past. And this is supposed to be a team that West wants to have a defensive identity. So they got to figure that out, man. They really do, because I keep saying, if a team is struggling from 3, they're shooting 32% from 3. It won't matter if they're shooting 50% from the field and they could just continue to get to the basket. And it happened against the Rockets last night. The Wizards fell in love with the 3. They do this sometimes. They'll fall in love with the 3. The Wizards aren't a good 3-point shooting team, no matter if you feel like they have shooters. The shooters aren't making a lot of shots at the times. The Wizards will fall in love with the 3 and miss a lot of 3s. And the Rockets were Christian Wood down low, getting to the basket. Jalen Green getting to the basket. Eric Gordon getting a tough layup at the basket. Rockets were getting to the basket. Wizards over here shooting 3s. And the Wizards eventually started attacking more, which was good. But paint resistance got to toughen up. They got to do better, man. They may need more size down low, especially if Wes Unseld Jr. continues to put Daniel Gafford on the bench like he did against the Bulls and against the Rockets for a later part of that game, the ending part of that game, and have him on the bench, which I think is a bad coaching decision. If Daniel Gafford's in that game, maybe Eric Gordon doesn't make that tough layup. Maybe Christian Wood doesn't make that tough contested mid-range fade shot that he made. You know, things change. Things could have changed. So that paint defense, man, they gotta toughen up. Teams cannot keep shooting 45% and up from the field against the Wizards. They cannot. It's going to be tough for the Wizards to get streaking consistently. Because, one, if the Wizards are missing their 3s and they fall in love with the 3 and they're shooting 25% from the 3 and teams are shooting 48% from the field, it's going to be tough, man. You're going to have a lot of tough games, close games that could be potential you're up 5 or something so you can't get beat with a buzzer beater. You know what I mean? So, interior defense has to improve. That's the second talking point I wanted to talk about. Third talking point, I wanted to talk about Bradley Beal. The All-Star voting just got released, and Bradley Beal is nowhere in sight for Eastern Conference guards. Just last season, he was leading, I believe, all guards in votes. This year, he's not even top 10. Why is that? I think you can attest to his start. He started off poorly, even though the team was playing well. He was playing really bad basketball. He's playing better now, but he was playing really bad basketball to start. Secondly, there's been a shift in the fan base. You know, the fan base they don't know how they feel about Brad. A lot of people are like, hey, why give him the max? They're tired of the turnovers later. They feel like he's not clutch, etc. So, the fan base themselves are kind of split on Bradley Beal right now. So, the fan base support is not really 100% there. Also, no Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook helps. Russell Westbrook is a polarizing figure who brings national media attention. Just look at all season what's been happening on all the sports talk shows with Russell Westbrook. Twitter, Russell Westbrook. I mean, not only his fans alone, but national media coverage that came to the Wizards that is no longer here because Russell Westbrook is no longer here. That all went to LA with Russ. So, lack of national media coverage, lack of full fan base support for Brad, and bad play to start the season. I think is all affecting Brad right now. You know, it's all affecting Brad right now. And he needs to continue to put up numbers. And the Wizards, I think they got to start floating above more than just at that 500 area, man. And I think, you know, he'll get up there. But I think the coaches, if he continues to play well, especially if the Wizards win games, start winning games in streak, because their schedule, I think they have like the 5th easiest remaining schedule left, I think. But I think if they can get winning, I think he'll get in as a reserve. The coaches will vote him in because you got guys like Derrick Rose and Kyrie Irving up there, etc. I think the coaches will vote him in as a reserve. So I think he'll make the All-Star game, personally, especially if he keeps putting up his numbers. He'll make the All-Star game for sure. But that's really all I had to speak about, guys. So Kyle Kuzma is the second option. If he continues to play downhill, yes, I think he can be. Interior defense has to improve. If they want to continue to win games consistently, like earlier in the season, they were good at defending the 3. They were good at defending the paint. They aren't good at defending the 3 really anymore. I mean, they're okay, but the paint defense has dropped off dramatically. It really has. They got to improve on that. Bradley Beal, I just gave you the reasons right there why I don't think he's top 10 in All-Star fan voting. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I will see you next time. Peace.